Thank you.
Good morning, Ms. Hollis. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Matt Soren Ross, and I'll be providing you an unclassified information brief on Stand 4, Southern Column. As you are standing east, I am standing west. South is here, north is here. I will be discussing the tactical importance of the Southern Column mission, the action of the stable guards, the action of the cooks and the bakers. The main attack came from a westward direction coming east into the camp. Dismounted was the main attack. However, there were mounted elements coming from the north, coming south, and heading east around the red light district. Many of those ballistas were the Dorados. And one of the main missions that they had was to take horses from the stables. As they came into town, they rode through firing at the barracks that were flimsy at the time, killing a regiment soldier of the band and wounded several others. Moving on to the stable. The stable, which should be in this area back then, a lot of the Vista soldiers, they were successful at taking some of the horses. However, in the light of the commotion, Private Kenval came out to see what was going on, and as he tried to round the horses up, he was shot down and eventually trampled by several horses. When a buddy of his came back and got him later after everything had kind of settled down, he could not recognize him for the wounds that he received from being shot and trampled by the horses. To the west, there were the kitchens, the troop kitchens. The troop kitchens, at that time, they were up, the cooks, preparing breakfast. And at that time of preparing breakfast, they heard the commotion outside, so they got into the action. A mess sergeant who kept game, as you were, who kept a shotgun to suffice rations by killing game, heard the commotion, came out, initiated into it, and started shooting at anything pretty much that moved. The shotgun came in handy at that day. At a kitchen further down, also, a Vaista soldier got met by a tub of water. And another kitchen further down, another one killed by an axe. Now, when you talk about the NCO creed, it talks about being and remaining technically and tactically proficient. And I think that's what they did. They strived to remain technically and tactically proficient. The values that they showed was that selfless service. Selfless service because in light of the situation, and these soldiers were not infantry. At that time, cooks, stable guards, and bakers, they did not have weapons, and they were not skilled tacticians at war. Instead, selfless service kicked in, and they reacted to the situation. Personal courage. Personal courage is also one of the values that they displayed. They displayed that courage because in light of the situation, fighting against the Dorados, they still defended themselves at any means necessary. All of the warrior ethos also came across in this incident. 3 of them that was totally evident was, I would not accept defeat. They showed that because they, like I said, they fought by any means necessary. They did not lay down. Also, I would not quit. One of the soldiers, who was a stable guard, actually beat one of the Vaistas with a bat. He refused to accept defeat, regardless of the light of the situation. And lastly, when a buddy went back to get Private Kenval, that displayed, I would never leave a fallen comrade. subject to any questions, that concludes my brief.
Yes, I have a question.
Yes.
Do you think that the stable guards could have done more to alert other soldiers?
Okay, the question is, do I think the stable guards could have did more to alert others? I think they did exactly what they're supposed to do, which was selfless service, personal courage, to handle the situation the best that they could at that time. Even though they were not, like I said, skilled fighters, they stood up against the Dorados. And as you were told earlier, that the Dorados were like the elite soldiers of Pontville. Do I have any more questions? This completes my brief.